The katha that is before us, since it comes from the Ramcharitamanas of Goswami Tulsidas Ji, all of us would have probably heard this katha at some point in time, where Hanuman Ji, as a baby growing up, he was blessed with tremendous powers. Hanuman Ji had powers that as a child he could not control. And it is said that even at one point in time, he tried to swallow the sun because his mother knew that she will not remain. And again, a mother's love is tremendous, you know. A mother wants to know one thing: son, you eat. Daughter, you have food. And once you're belly full, mommy belly full. A mother's concern is that you are not hungry and you're not feeling the pain of hunger. And so Anjani Devi told her son, she said, a time will come soon when I have to go back to the heavenly abode. And when I leave, I want you to remember that when the fruits on the trees are ripe, they would look like the sun. They would have the color like the sun. So that time you can pick those fruits and you would have them as your food. The mother had left the earth and she went back to the heavenly abode. And friends, the child was hungry. So one day he got up in the morning very early and he saw that the sun was rising and it was looking like the ripe color of the fruit. And as it is said, you know, he started flying towards the sun. He himself could not imagine that he could have flown towards the sun. And while flying towards it, his shadow started overpowering or blocking the sunlight from reaching the earth. So the administrator of the heavenly abode, whose job is to make sure the sun rises and the sun sets and the moon changes its phases, God Indra, who is in control of the heavenly planets and system, he saw that the earth was in darkness, but it's time for the sun to rise. Suppose sun sleep away. The sun sleep away, what happens? Not your son, you know. The Surya Dev, if his light sleeps away, the world will be in darkness. So Indra realized, God Indra realized that the earth was in darkness. So when he looked around, he saw this UFO flying towards the sun. And when he did realize that, in fact, when he tried to understand what it was or who it was, he didn't, my friends, understand, because he could not in his dream realize that a human being or whatever it was could ever fly so high and so close to the sun. So God Indra took his thunderbolt, his Vajra, and he sent it in the direction of the flying object, that UFO, to destroy it completely. And friends, it is said, the thunderbolt of God Indra, it don't miss. It operates with the mind. So if I am thinking about, let me know watch nobody house something. If I am thinking about an object on the ground, and I send my weapon towards it, if I change my mind, the weapon will go towards what I change my mind to. So that's the way it operates, you know, with the Vajra of God Indra. And even though on the battlefield of Kurukshetra also, in the Mahabharata, or even when Bhagwan Sri Ram was fighting Ravan, they had these type of powers towards their weapons. And if you notice, even when you look at the film of the Ramayana or the Mahabharata, you will see that whenever Sri Ram put the arrow on the bow, he bowed. And he programmed them fellas in other countries and things like, who like war. I don't want to name the countries. They feel as though they're now developing technology about missiles and weapons of this nature, and you can program it to go and hit exactly target, etc. That's from the days of Sri Ram. He would bow, and immediately his mind tells that arrow where it has to go. And it will not miss the target. So, God Indra, my friends, took the thunderbolt, he programmed it to hit that flying object, that UFO, not knowing it was a child of Pawan Devta. And friends, the thunderbolt went, and what was supposed to destroy the target only struck Hanuman on his jaw got broken, he became unconscious, he was falling to the ground. And I'm saying all this to make one point, but in a few minutes. As he was falling to the ground, it is said that Pawan Devta, the god of wind, realized that his son was in danger. And friends, when a child is in danger, the father responds. When a child is in danger, the mother responds. When a child is in danger, the father will do whatever it takes to protect that child. When a child is in danger, the mother feels the pain in her stomach. When a child is in danger, they will do whatever it takes. They will turn over the world to protect that child, and that is what Pawan Devta did. He went down and he held his beloved son before he struck the ground. And when he realized that he was unconscious, Pawan Devta, my friends, touched down on the earth. He tried to resuscitate the child. He didn't. He could not come back, to regain consciousness. And he became very upset. That is, Pawan Devta became very upset. And what he did was, he went down into Patal. Now, when the god of wind goes down into Patal, what happens is, the earth remains without oxygen. And when the earth remains without oxygen, we know what happens. That is death. Not the insecticide, you know. You have an insecticide called death? Not that, you know. That, my friends, when the oxygen is withdrawn by Pawan Devta and he goes down into Patal, every living thing would die. God Indra, realizing, being the administrator of the heavens, he realized that the earth now was in danger. And not just the sun was in danger, but now the earth. God Indra immediately organized all the devatas, such as himself, Agni Devata, the god of fire. He organized Bhagwan Vishnu. He organized Bhagwan Brahmaji and Lord Shiva. And he told them, look, this child is unconscious. We need to do something to regain his consciousness. If not, Pawan Devta will not be appeased. And if Pawan Devta is not appeased, he will not come back to the earth. And so every living thing on the earth will die from suffocation. And you know, as I say that, I remember, like during the peak of the COVID, how many people suffered and how many people died because of lack of oxygen. And tonight, permit me to also express a prayer to those souls as well, the millions of people across the world who suffocated and died. Not only in our country, but across the world. And we pray for them. My friends, Pawan Devta went down to the Patal region, that is the lowest region. And Brahmaji, Lord Vishnu, Bhagwan Shiva, Indra, and all these devatas, they went and they glorified Pawan Devta. They said to him that you are the source of life, O Pawan Dev. Your beloved son has been struck by the Mukdar, by the Vajra of God Indra. We do apologize. We did not know, he did not know rather, who it was or what it was. But now, having realized, it is your son, please accept his apology. And we all will bless your son. And my friends, Bhagwan Vishnu, who knew the powers of this child, immediately rested his hands on him and he said, your life will be eternal, my child. So Lord Vishnu blessed Pawan Putra with eternal life. That is called Chiranjeev in Sanskrit. Chiranjeev means that he will not die if he don't want to die. Isn't that a good thing? He would not die, but I want you all to remember this point, right? It is a very important point we're going to come back to down to the end. Chiranjeev is, you will not die if you do not choose that. Right? Remember that. Lord Vishnu blessed Hanumanji with that. And not only that, he said that you, my son, will have unconditional love that will be so pure, it will be called bhakti for me, the Lord of the universe. And there, Lord Vishnu, having given that blessing to Pawan Putra, he regained consciousness, and then God Indra immediately intervened and he said, I also want to bless you. I also want to bless you. Hey Pawan Putra, I bless you that from today onwards, no weapon could ever hurt you. No weapon could ever hurt you. Second blessing. Agni Devata, the god of fire, also interjected and he said, I also bless you, hey Pawan Putra, that from today onwards, fire will not burn you. My son, you could be in the middle of fire. It will not burn you. All these are remarkable blessings. And my friends, in this way also, he was blessed with the powers that he could never be hurt, regardless of what, whether it's emotional hurt, physical hurt, psychological hurt, or even spiritual hurt. He was beyond all evil and all negativities. Having gotten all these blessings, to make a long katha short, my friends, Hanumanji was only a child at that point in time. So, unfortunately, he did something. He did some mischief. You know, like you put powers into the hand of a child who doesn't know the real effects of those powers. You give a child responsibilities. You give a child $1 million. What are he going to do with that? Financial power. You give him financial power. He will take that money and he will, some children, I put that in inverted commas. Vic, not Vishal. Eh? Vishal break your piggy bank this morning for the president. You give a child $1 million and that child doesn't know the value of that money. Some children will squander it. Financial power, they don't know. You put a vehicle in the hands of a child. When I say a child, a young teenager who doesn't know the value of it or how it came. He or she may take that vehicle and they might hurt themselves, they might hurt somebody else, or they might use it properly. That's powers also. You give a child education, but you didn't teach them how to build their character. That child will use that education, that knowledge, and that child can destroy themselves. Education is important, but education with family values and character building is of utmost important. So the young ones who are here tonight and the young ones who are viewing on Sankhya television, remember, you are all educated. And trust me, we don't have children who are uneducated now. Do we? Every home has a degree or two. Everybody, children are studying, and that is so remarkable. It is so wonderful. Long ago, in our days, Vic, we didn't really have to go to school and think. We could go behind the school and come back home and write up with our own report. And maybe, inverted commas, maybe would have gotten away. Nowadays, our children have that interest in education. But what is important also is not just interest in education and academics, but you must have an interest in your character as well. Because character building is very important. Now, this child, he used this power and he went and started stealing the shaligrams of the saint and the sages, and he would do mischief to the rishis and the munis. When they're sitting in meditation, he would go and lift them up because now he's strong, and he would lift them up and turn them over. Upside it down, and they're still meditating. But he's holding them there. That's why you see people who have some type of powers, sometimes financial power, sometimes physical power, sometimes power in position, they turn people's life upside down. When they use their power for the wrong means and the wrong methods. Sometimes people sitting on a high position, in life, and some throne or something because they govern some institution, and they destroy other people's lives because they high. But what they forget, and what we forget sometimes in life, that hey, just as you're going up, coming back right down the same way. And the old people in their philosophy, and the old people from their university, they'll say, "Bait, the higher you go, the harder you go fall." That's the philosophy of the old people, not the philosophy of the University of the West Indies. It is the philosophy of Aja and Aji and Nana and Nani. Son, daughter, the higher you go is the harder you go fall. Watch yourself. So, this very powerful son of Pawan Devta started also turning over the rishis and the munis, and one day they got really upset with him. And they pronounce a shrap upon him that you will forget your powers. You will forget your powers. Remember these words, friends. You have the powers, but you have lost control of yourself. And you will forget these powers now. And until one day, you will be reminded of it when you really need it. And that is the time you will remember and realize how powerful you are. But that time, you will be an adult and you will know the purpose of your life. You will know the purpose of your existence then. You will know the value of what you have and you will put it into good use. My friends, very quickly, he grew up, but without knowledge of his powers. And as the Katha goes on through Kishkinda Khan, he met up with Sugriv, they form a union, etc. And the beginning of the Leela of Hanumanji was about to start. He was about to be reminded of his tremendous powers, a power that will take him through the rest of his life. My friends, it was at one such time he was blessed to get the darshan of Bhagwan Sri Ram. And even at that time, he did not even recognize God. Even at that time, he did not recognize God. Friends, when we lose control of ourselves and we forget our powers, we forget our abilities, we forget who we are, even God will come in front of us and we will not recognize God. Question: do we recognize God if he comes in front of us? Oh, Baba, God never come. That means you forget yourself. That means you have already forgotten your powers, and even if God comes and stands in front of you, you will not recognize him. Friends, when that moment came and Sri Ram was in front of him and he did not recognize the Lord, Hanumanji was lost. But just a few moments after, when he finally recognized the Lord, friends, his heart split in two. How come? He started asking these questions. How come? How come I did not recognize you, Prabhu? When, Hanumanji put on the mask face, etc., of the Brahmana's disguise, and he went down. Not a physical mask face, right? He put on a disguise. And he pretended to be who he was not, and that's why the Lord did not recognize him. My point is, coming to the very important point now, friends, the time had come for Hanumanji to be reminded of his powers. The time had come for him to be reminded who he is. The time had come for him to be reminded of what his purpose is in life. And if we were to ask ourselves this question, what is our purpose? What is our purpose in life? What do we do every day? Get up. I won't go in details. We do morning ABCs. We go to the office. We work. We come back tired, exhausted, eat, sleep, get up tomorrow morning, and do the same thing again every week, and then every month, and then every year. That is our life. Get up, go to work, come back home, sleep. Get up, go to work, come back home, sleep. Is that our lives? Is that the purpose of our lives? Yes, we're making money. Okay, so when we make money, what we do with it? We go on a nice vacation, we buy nice things, etc., etc. Okay, all those things we accumulate, and all those vacations we go on, we have a wonderful time, we enjoy ourselves. Yes, it is part of life. Do enjoy it. If you don't, who will? But is that the purpose? We have to search deep within ourselves. Let me acknowledge my Guru Bhai, Shri Ravi Bharati Ji, your neighbor in your community, your Guruji in your community. My friends, you see, that's not just the purpose of our lives. There is something beyond this body. And tonight, Jambavan reminded Hanumanji something. He said that, somebody have to cross the ocean to go and find Mother Sita, and somebody have to make this journey. If we don't find her, then Sugri will be upset with us. So what he did, Riksharaj Jambavan ने श्री रामचंद्र जी ने कहा, हे हनुमान, हे बलवान, सुनो, हमने तो क्या चुप्पी साधी रखी है? O Hanuman, हे बलवान, O most powerful one, why are you sitting there so silently? तुम पवन के पुत्र हो और तुम्हारा बल पवन के बल से ही समान है. You are as powerful as your father, Hanuman. You are as powerful as Pavan Devta, and you are sitting there quietly as if you don't know anything, or you don't have any strength, or you don't have any powers. And he reminded him not only of his physical powers, but very importantly, we must not only remind people, hey, go to the gym and lift 250 pounds and eat correctly and get something like this. What's some power here? Isn't it? Don't just only remind people of their physical power, remind people of their internal power. And this is what Jambavan did. Tum buddhi vivek aur vigyan ke bandar ho. You are indeed very strong on the inside, Hanuman. So Jambavan told him, he says, you are sitting very quietly and we have to go across the ocean. And why are you not saying something, Hanuman? This is where Hanumanji was sitting quietly. Tulsidashi tells, Hanumanji was sitting quietly because he himself didn't know. He was not aware of his powers. When you're not aware that you are smart, you act like you are not smart. When you are not aware that you are a sweet human being, you act as if you are without sugar. When you are unaware that you are a divine human being, you act as though you are just a human being. When you are unaware that your soul is eternal and everlasting, you act as if you are going to die. My friends, when we are unaware that we are divine beings having a human experience, then when what you call a vinivesh, the fear of death creeps into our lives. And when the fear of death comes, the older we get, is the more frightened we get. Because we think that we're going to die. But when we are unaware that the soul is never going to die, then what happens is that fear comes and robs us of our happiness. Friends, I want to ask you all a question. Are you aware that you are a wonderful, most beautiful human being? Are you aware of that? Or do you believe if somebody looks at you and tells you you're stupid, you believe that you are stupid? And you regret that in your mind? And you tell yourself, I am stupid, I am good for nothing, I am this, I am that? You see, what you believe yourself to be, that is what you are. So if you think that you are stupid to think that you are stupid. If you think that you're a sweet human being, a sweet person, it means that you are sweet to think of yourself like that. Don't belittle yourself, because inside of you, inside of us, there is supreme knowledge. Inside of every one of us, there is pure divinity. Friends, in every drop of water is the ocean. In every drop of water, there is the ocean. In every wave that comes out of the ocean, as if the ocean is present in that. In every bulb, there is electricity that is connected to the socket. In every part of this home, that electricity is present, but you won't feel it everywhere. You see, if you go and touch the window, you won't get electrocuted. But the home has electricity in it. You see, in the same way, this entire universe is permeated with divinity. Your mom, Srimati Doreen, didn't go anywhere. She didn't die. We think that she died. And we are remembering her in this particular form, oh, Mama was 5 feet tall, and she was a nice person, but in the last she used to well quarrel. But Mama was a nice person, and you remember all the wonderful things and the hot mouth. One day I came here and she didn't recognize me, because we know the condition that she had, And she said something that was not nice, but thank God I forget it. Something to the effect that, what you come here for? But because of the condition, the medical condition that she was experiencing. And the point I make is that sometimes, people go through things in life, but that is not who they are. Mama was not this physical body that you call Ma. She is beyond that. She is way beyond that. And this is what we also forget. Brother Brian, don't ever forget that you are not just Brian. You are a divine being. Boys, don't forget that you are not just a drummer or a dantal player or a sound system engineer. You are beyond that. You are what you call Buddhi, Vivek, or Vijnana Nidhana. We are all intelligent beings. We are all super beings. And therefore, tonight, the scriptures is telling us that we must not, condemn ourselves. We must not allow the emotions of negativity to put us down. Rise beyond it. You see, in life, there will be so many situations. Look, today was flood. You know how many people are suffering? Not only today is flood. Floods just recently gone, come back again, and they gave us another alert, what you call a weather emergency today. So we don't know what will happen tonight and tomorrow and into Monday. So all those things, sometimes we are wet, sometimes we are dry, sometimes we go through the pairs of opposites. But while going through it, don't allow your emotions to swing. Don't allow your emotions, it is what it is. Let us do what we have to do. Sometimes the people we love so much will hurt us so badly. The people we love so much will hurt us so badly that it takes a lifetime to overcome that hurt. But we have to also be very careful that, remember, we have a life too. And if we were to allow the people we love to hurt us, then we will live our lives being hurt until we die. And then realize, oh shucks, life done? That's it? Prabhu, ek chance aur de dijiye na. Give me one more chance na, Prabhu. You know the bhajan that says, Maili chadar और के कैसे द्वार तुम्हारे आऊं द्वार तुम्हारे आऊं हे पावन परमेश्वर मेरे मन ही मन शर्माऊं. You wait till you go by Bhagwan door to realize that you are shamed because you make a mistake. Bhagwan will say, Beta, Beti, I'm not in charge of your karma. Why didn't you realize that you made mistakes? Why didn't you realize that you're supposed to change? Now you are ashamed? Maname Sharma-A. Now when you're standing by the door, Bhagwan is ashamed? You're ashamed? Why don't we, as soon as we hurt somebody, God forbid, and we realize, why don't we say right away when we realize, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm going to change. I'm going to be a better person. And change. Why don't we, when we hold high positions and high offices in life, not remain humble and down to earth? Why is it when we are blessed with finances and financial power, we feel as though we could slap somebody and pay for them? Why is it when because we have some money and we have some education, we could live a loose life? Because we have a position and we could, take advantage of others? Then, when this day comes, we would have to put our hands on our heads and beg Bhagwan, or hands by the heart, and say, Prabhu, can I have one more chance? You see, we have to invite in our minds pure thoughts. We have to invite in ourselves and recognize in ourselves that here we are not just this money-making machine. We are not just to get up and enjoy luxuries and pleasures. We work for it, we enjoy it, yes. But inside, deep inside here, we must take a few moments and shut off the world, and shut off the emotions, and shut up the mouth, and just meditate. Take those few moments yourself. Shut the mind up. Meditation. And feel peaceful. Feel your heartbeat. Feel love. Don't ask for love. Feel how loving you are. Today, I had to talk to somebody whose marriage failed, unfortunately, poor thing. His marriage failed. And when his marriage failed, this guy is depressed. He feels as though he's not worth living anymore. He feels as though life is not worth living anymore. So I didn't know what to tell him. What you will tell him, Mila? Huh? Marry again? What you will tell him, Vasha? Life goes on. Vini? Pray? Yeah, I told him to pray. But sometimes, when you're in deep pain and you're praying, you feel God are listening. Sometimes it happens, when you have, God forbid, you're in deep pain and you're praying, your mind not really on God, you're thinking about that girl, what she do, man. God, I want you to teach you a good lesson. That is not prayer. Prabhu, that's not praying. Praying is surrendering to Bhagwan. When you surrender your emotions and you surrender yourself, not just a physical, bowing. Vishal? You know what is bowing? Bowing is not just touching the pity of the Lord and bowing, or putting your head on the ground, Bowing is a mental thing. It's not just about, let's say for example, Satsangh Dandvat. Satsangh Dandvat means when you lie down in front of the Lord, or your guru, or somebody, you lie down flat on the ground, and your tip of your forehead, and your nose, and your chin, and your chest, and your waist, and your knees, and your toes touching the ground. So you lie down in front of this master, God, or whosoever, and you say, I surrender to you. That is bowing, no doubt. But if you bow like that, and your mind wasn't bowing so, then you only dirty up your clothes. Isn't it? You need to dirty up your clothes. Surrender is very important. So see, Hanumanji is reminded of this inner strength he had. Bala was physical. Buddhi is intelligence. Vivek, the function of the intellect is to discriminate between right and wrong. But my point is, when he was reminded of his blessings, it is like telling the mind, hey, be strong. Hanumanji was reminded, hey, you have the power. Tum chupakazi rahihu balavana. You are indeed very powerful. You are indeed very powerful. I thought I started to sing again, I want to know if I'm real. My friends, Rahehu Balavana, you are indeed very powerful in sitting quiet. We're looking at the commission of inquiry going on into those guys who lost their lives. And you see where the lawyers are questioning the people who were supposed to be in charge. And they were saying, I saw one part where they were saying that, 4 men sitting down there, or 4 men down in the pipe, and you quiet? What do you do? Hanuman, Sita Mata is in Lanka. What did you do? What are you doing, sitting quiet? Pavanatanaya Bala. Don't you know you have the power of your father? Pavanatanaya Bala. Do you know, Vishal? You have the power of your father. Vasha? You have the power of your father and your mother. You all know, we all have the powers of our parents. They say the chip don't fall far from the block, at the old people university. But from a scientific point of view, every cell in these people are in both of you. Every cell of my parents are in me. Every drop of blood I have is their blood. And your blood, you have. And you know what it says here? Every drop of blood, Mama, is flowing in your veins. That's why you all decided to celebrate her life tonight. In this satsang and Shraddha this morning. You can't forget her. How are you going to forget her? Never forget her. My point is, if you can't forget her, how come you forget you? If you can't forget the people you love when they die, how come you forget yourself when you're alive? That you are a divine being, and you are very special, and you're very sweet, and you are not an angry person, you're a kind-hearted person. How come you forget you? I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to me too. How come? How come do we forget ourselves? Okay, well I remember, Baba, I remember me. My name is Abhedanand Persad. Or my name is Vikram, or my name is Rishi, or my name is Babaji, or my name is whatever, right? I remember my name. I remember where I live. Oh, congratulations. Those are not big things to remember. But do you remember that you're a pure soul? Oh, no, I can't be that. Who are you? I'm a sinner. I was born in sin, I grow in sin, I will live in sin, and I will die in sin. Who tell you that? Well, the fella down in the spiritual institution. The fellow in the spiritual institution told me I was born in sin, and I grew up in sin, I live in sin, and I will die in sin. So that means I am a sinner. So keep on chanting. Take your mala quick and start to chant. I am a sinner, a good for nothing. I am a sinner, good for nothing. I am a sinner, good for nothing. And see what happens. That is what you're doing to yourself. Friends, it's so sad that we can let people do those things to us. Whosoever it might be. It could be a pastor, it could be a pundit, it could be an imam, it could be some highly spiritual person who tell you you're good for nothing, and you believe that. Then, I'm very sorry. But I know, my scripture tells me, Mano buddhyahankar चित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोतजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिः न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं. I know that my scripture tells me that I am pure, Sat, Chit and Ananda. I am supposed to be always happy. So if I am not happy, something is wrong with my mind. I'm supposed to, it comes like this, right? Let me ask a logical question. What's your name, babe? What's your name? Michaela. Michaela, if you are standing in a pool of water, right? What's supposed to happen to your feet? Naturally. Huh? I'm not hearing you. Yeah. In the water. Huh? Duh. It takes so long to answer, Michaela. If you stand in the water, the natural thing that is going to happen is that your foot is going to get wet, right? Naturally, right? There's no rocket science to realize that. But if you stand, next question, Michaela. I'm not picking on you, right? If you stand up in the pool, but your foot is not getting wet, what happens? Huh? No, you're standing in the pool with water, but your foot is not getting wet. What would you investigate? Anybody? I don't want Michaela to feel that I pick on she, right? So let me watch everybody else. What do you all think? Say what that? Exactly. If you are standing in the pool with water and your foot is not getting wet, which means something is preventing your foot from getting wet. She have on her tall boots. Right? Friends, if I am supposed to be Sat, Chit and Ananda, if I am supposed to be always happy and I'm not happy, why? Huh? Something is preventing you from being happy. What it is? What it is? I want you all to tell me what it is. Don't go in details. What it is that you have on in your mind that is preventing you from being happy? Emotions. Emotions are just running wild. So Michaela, is it Michaela, right? Michaela, as a young child, and to all the youngsters and youths, Vishal, and all the children, Vasha, others, youngsters and youths, you have your whole life of emotions in front of you, ahead of you. And if you become too emotional in dealing with situations and making important decisions, you are going to make the wrong decisions. You don't make decisions on emotions. Take out the emotion from your mind. Buddhi viveka vijnana nidhana. Jambavan is not only telling Hanumanji this, that he is this. Tulsidashi is telling us that we are also this. Buddhi, viveka, vijnana, and we are the board. Nidhana means the abode of these things. And when we realize and when we come to understand that we are not just this physical entity filled with emotions, getting caught up in the emotional world, then we rise beyond the emotions and we try to find out, hey, I think I am always happy. I don't think I am always happy. I know that I'm always happy. And like Vasha said, very simple she said it, casually. Life goes on. She could just say that, And we could just say too. Life just goes on. But if we get caught up in all the emotions of the world, then what happens is we die before we die. No, let me rephrase that. We are dead before we die. And we don't want to be dead before we die. We don't want to be dead before the body falls. Friends, Hanumanji was reminded. And boys, I'm looking straight at this straight line here, only boys, right? It's very important to understand one thing, that Hanumanji had to be reminded of this before he found Mother Sita. He couldn't find Mother Sita. Now, The philosophy of that is, Mother Sita represents peace. And not until you are reminded of who you are, you will ever find peace. There's a whole ocean to cross. There's a big bridge you have to build. And each stone or mountain or whatever it might be that construct this bridge of your life has to have God's name on it. That's the way your life will remain afloat. You're following along, right? You know why the rocks floated? Because they wrote Ram, 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 Ram and all the rocks, and the rocks floated. The rocks represents our lives. The rocks represents our mind that is loaded and is heavy and really can't float in this world. Some of us, we just get up in the morning because we have to, The mind is heavy with all kind of things. If the mind is heavy with work, no problem. You have to work. Don't say, oh, Baba, tell me to empty the mind last night, so I emptied this morning and nothing inside it to do today. No. If you have to work, work. If you have to make money, make money. That's your job. But you see the depressing part? And you see the negative part? That's the weight of your mind. That's what keeps us down in life. In this way, when Hanumanji was reminded, now you see these words here, Buddhi, Vivek, Vijnana, etc., and Pavana Tanaya Bala Pavana Samana, all these are highly philosophical words. We could go into real details with these words, But the basic meaning is that you are reminded of the strength of your father, so you always remember where you come from, and you remember, in other words, sometimes, Jen, when we remember our parents, we get strength. And that's the next meaning. From our parents, we get strength. And Buddhi means intelligence. Live an intelligent life. Don't ever become the victim of ignorance whatsoever. When you see ignorance, run. That means you'll have to run from politics. Isn't it? When you see ignorance, just go on the opposite side. Run away from ignorance. Because in politics, there are real ignorance. In status and position and all those drama, down to earth, humble, simple. Buddhi means intelligence. I want the young people to finally tonight remember, you're not an intelligent being if you don't have a good character. Intelligence goes with character. Young girls, as you study and you get your degree and you grow, and young boys, maintain your goodness of your character. If you don't maintain the goodness of your character, then you can lose everything that you have, that you have worked hard for to build. Vivek means, choose from the pairs of opposites. Vivek means to discriminate between the right and the wrong, the good and the bad, and do the right thing. That is what we're supposed to do. Vijnana means that we take this knowledge and we apply it in our lives, and we realize that we are not just human beings, but divine beings. And we know that my soul is eternal and everlasting. I am not going to die. I am not going to live a miserable life. I'm not going to worry. Vijnana means putting the knowledge into practice.